In an ever-increasing sea of SUVs, sedans seem to be drowning quickly. Their numbers are diminishing rapidly. But then again, sometimes one or two sedans manage to poke their head out of the water and well make a mark for themselves. Today we've got two such sedans. There's the new Toyota Corolla Altis and the all-new Hyundai Elantra. Now both of these are petrols and they've got automatic transmissions, and we're going to see just how each fares against the other. Toyota's Corolla is one of the largest selling sedans in the world, and there are some very good reasons for that. It's got good proportions, it's got a lot of space inside, it's a reasonably priced car to own, but overall it's the dependability of this car, the reliability that allows it to command such a huge following. In India, this car has been around for well over a decade, and in all of those years, it continues to be one of the largest selling sedans in its category. However, and this is a big however, it isn't the most desirable. Buying a Corolla is a very practical choice. It's not an emotional choice. You don't feel very deeply or very strongly for this car. You just know that it will be easy on your wallet over a long period of time. With this current generation Corolla, Toyota have finally managed to crack the design equation. It definitely looks a lot nicer than it used to before. It's smarter, much sharper, definitely more pleasing to the eye. And that's on the outside. Inside, well, it's got a nice mix of materials, but the interior design could really have done a lot more. It's a very laid-back look. The dashboard is very, very boring and actually looks like a car from the 1970s or probably even older. So yes, Toyota could definitely have worked on the interiors. One aspect about the Corolla that definitely stands out over the Elantra is the rear seat space, and because this is more of a traditional sedan style design, the rear seats are more upright. So you've got better back support, you've got better under thigh support, which means over longer distances you will definitely feel a lot more comfortable in the rear seat. You've also got a lot more headroom. The Elantra, in comparison, it's a more coupe-ish roofline. So you feel a bit cramped, nonetheless it's still comfortable. You've got generous amounts of leg and knee room, but certainly not as comfortable as in the Corolla. Now, Toyota offers a choice of both petrol and diesel engines in the Corolla Altis for Indian consumers. And we've got the petrol engine for consideration in this comparison test. It's a 1.8 litre petrol engine, a 4-cylinder petrol engine. It makes about 140 PS of max power and 170 Newton meters of max torque, which is a bit less powerful than what you get in the Elantra. Nonetheless, it's got the right set of specifications that you'd need for driving this car in both urban city conditions or out on the highways. Another strong aspect of the Toyota Corolla is, of course, its ride quality. It is, well, it's built perfectly for Indian conditions, and the absorption that you get from the suspension is simply brilliant. However, there's a little bit of disconnect over extremely bad potholes, but there's never an occasion when you feel less confident or unsure about what this car is going to do. In that sense, it's a fairly safe, secure and confident sedan to own. It's a comfortable car to drive. Now, adding to that comfort, of course, is the 7-speed automatic transmission. This is a CVT, and it's a fairly good CVT. It's refined. It's got great fuel efficiency. You get about 12 kilometers per litre in city conditions, and about goes all the way up to about 17 kilometers per litre on the highways. So yes, it does its job. It's a very convenient transmission to use in this car, especially if you're driving this in urban conditions. The nicer part about this transmission is that it's got both an eco mode, which is a default mode, and you've also got a sport mode. In sport mode, of course, the ECU kicks in and well, I'm going to show you what it does. And the shifts, well, they come in much later. So the car allows you to use the full power band, thus making it quicker, much more energetic to drive. Well, if you want to enjoy that kind of driving with the Corolla. The one advantage that the Corolla Automatic has to offer, of course, these paddle shifters right behind the steering wheel. Now, if you're the kind who likes driving your cars yourself, this definitely is a very welcome addition. It completely enhances the driving experience that the Corolla has to offer. It's a huge positive and something that the Elantra does not have. But let's shift over to the Elantra and let me tell you just how that fares. Hyundai's Elantra was one of those first sedans that it offered in India, which had a completely new design language when it was launched first about 6 years ago. That design language was called fluidic design, and it was a remarkable design language. It really transformed the company. So not only were the cars good looking, they were great to drive as well. Now this all-new Elantra, which was just launched a few months ago, it continues Hyundai's sound engineering practices. But in addition, it also offers a fair amount of design study both on the exteriors as well as the interiors. Now, is it the better looking car compared to the Corolla? Well, I'm not entirely certain. I definitely like the way the Corolla looks on the exteriors, but the interiors, well, I'm definitely not a big fan of that sedan. This car genuinely feels so much more premium, so much more luxurious. The quality of materials, the mix of materials and the design language inside here is just remarkably of a different league altogether. Where space is concerned, they're both an even match. Both the Corolla and the Elantra offer enormous amounts of leg and knee room for both front occupants and rear seat passengers as well. And well, they both will seat 5 passengers in adequate comfort. The Elantra's petrol is a 2-litre petrol, again a 4-cylinder petrol, but you get about 152 PS of power. That's about 10 PS more than what the Corolla is capable of making, with about 190 Newton meters of max torque. So of course, drivability in the Elantra is definitely better than what you get in the Corolla. The automatic transmission that the Elantra uses is a standard torque converter, and it offers 6 speeds, but is certainly far more refined and more mature than what you get in the Corolla again. It's also quicker to shift. However, the one disadvantage that I see here is that the Elantra does not offer paddle shifts behind the steering wheel. You do have the option of shifting gears manually, but to do that you just have to shift with the stick on the center console, and that to me is a bit of a deterrent. The ride quality, fantastic, extremely supple, very confident, very secure, quite unlike any other Hyundai that we've ever driven. The Elantra has got great damping and absorption characteristics. You simply drive this car over everything and nothing disturbs you. Now, like the Corolla, the Elantra also offers a choice of both sport and eco modes. Eco is of course the default mode that you are in every time you switch on the cars. Both the Corolla and the Elantra shift or rather come up alive in eco mode, but just a touch of a button and you can shift to sport mode, and essentially what that does again in the Elantra, just like in the Corolla, is gets the ECU to shift in using the entire power available in the power band. The Elantra, while driving it in sport mode or in eco mode, feels so much more refined. The drivability is so much more superior to the Corolla. It's even quicker put your foot down, and well, all you hear is this fantastic engine noise. Now that engine whine that you, or rather transmission whine that you hear in the Corolla, is so much more silkier, so much more smoother. I think Hyundai have done a tremendous job with the Elantra. This is a fantastic car to drive, reasonably inexpensive to own. As an entry-level premium sedan, this is probably the best that you would get in the market at this point in time. So having driven both the Elantra and the Corolla back to back, I've sort of come to a decision, and these are based both on the numbers each of these have well chalked out, and of course the feeling that I get from either of these two cars. And that decision clearly indicates that the Elantra is the winner in this comparison test. It's got the larger engine, more horsepower, better performance. Fuel efficiency, well, they're both comparable to each other, but then there's that big price differential. The Elantra is roughly about 3 lakhs cheaper than the Toyota Corolla. Its transmission, its automatic, of course, also feels far more refined, more mature than the CVT that you get in the Corolla. And for all of those reasons, the Elantra, Hyundai's all-new Elantra, clearly is the winner in this comparison.